Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and having a great weekend. So I think it might be a good time to catch up on the high yield wars, and most of the focus is going to be put on Roundhill for this recap. So can Roundhill expand on the recent victories? I think like so far, Roundhill has done well, at least for the zero DTE ETFs. They do have other ETFs, and they look okay, but they aren't as interesting to me just yet. And I still, just as a matter of disclosure, I still own high yield option ETFs. However, I've started doing some rotating. So unfortunately, Defiance and YieldMax, they've lost momentum. So 3 months ago, I made a video kind of begging Defiance and YieldMax to give us stable weekly payout ETFs. So there is some good news there, in that I don't know if it had anything to do with this video, or if like other maybe like other high yield YouTubers, or like the community in general. They've probably been begging Defiance and YieldMax as well. So if you did, thank you, because now they actually have listened, and they've started the process. So just for example, recently Defiance renamed JEPI to WDTE. I'm not sure why, and not the other ones, but whatever. So they've also in that release, they also mentioned that they're going to switch to weekly. YMAX and YMAG are going to be weekly, and like everything else is going to be in a staggered schedule for the YieldMax products. And then, just out of curiosity, I don't know why SMCY is starting off at like a higher stock price than the other ETFs. I don't know if it's just like a timing thing, or what, but who knows? And I've seen some people mention that there's gonna be like new strategies. But I wish them the best. Like hopefully it does work out, especially for people that are holding Defiance and YieldMax ETFs. And then I also just want to mention the Roundhill management. So there's a few videos of David Mazza uh, out there from other YouTubers. So you obviously you can look at this yourself and decide for yourself. But for me personally, I think I at least for now I have a positive impression. I don't see any. I haven't heard anything that might be detrimental to any of the Roundhill ETFs. And he's relatively young, and but he has like good experience. Just looking at his bio. So hopefully he can continue the momentum. And I think like for a lot of high yield community members, this could be the new daddy. And then some people might be doing strange for zero DTE change, and maybe they want to holler for that high yield dollar. So enough corny jokes. But I think, to get serious for a second here, I think Defiance might be at the moment the most vulnerable. So you can see like the zero DTE, the assets under management getting siphoned off. So just for example, for triple QY, so February 29th was kind of like their high watermark. That was like around 310 million. Right now it's roughly 206 million as of late September 2024. But you've also noticed, just like right over here to the right, QDTE started off on March 7th, and they've already accumulated 439 million, and that already surpasses their Defiance's high watermark, and almost double of like what Defiance has now. And then the WDTE, or like the former JPY, March 21st was like the high watermark. Like that had like about 140.8 million. And it's right now it's around 96.3 million. And also XDTE came out at the same time as QDTE, and they've already accumulated 151 million, which is more than what Defiance had at their high watermark. And it's not as dramatic as triple QY and QDTE, but it's still larger. And then the only thing that's different is IWMY. So May 31st was their high watermark at 176.2 million, and that went to 128.6 million. So RTE came out earlier this month. They've already accumulated 23 million. So maybe in a few months that'll also maybe either chip start chipping away at this 128 million. And then eventually it might even surpass it as well. So hopefully maybe Defiance can be more competitive. So it's good that they at least switched to weekly to maybe compete, but we'll have to see. And YieldMax has also countered. So as I mentioned before, YMax and YMag are going weekly, or have gone weekly, and now they're gonna in the next payouts we'll see like the kind of like how the staggered schedule for the rest of the ETFs will work out. I'm not sure why they couldn't do everything else just like weekly, especially like OT. But I mean, maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. And then there's also their upcoming like 12% sector ETFs. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a video on that, but like other people have covered that, so like it wasn't interesting enough for me to warrant a video. And other people have covered it, so I'm just gonna let that go. And then because at this point I don't know if it's too little too late, but maybe the 12% sector ETFs could be helpful for some people. Also, since I've gone weekly, at least they're paying attention, and they're also don't trying to do something. So the Roundhill current roster, I think like the bulk of the interest is probably in the 0DTE, and the crypto crippled the crypto covered call ETFs, the YBTC and YETH. They're they're not bad. I guess like for myself, I'm not interested just because it's on like crypto futures ETFs, so I haven't really touched those. But other people have, so you can view those videos at your own leisure. And then my current like another one that could be interesting is KNGS. So this is their dividend appreciation fund. So that could be interesting, especially if they can maybe figure out a way to maybe do like a weekly payout as well. But I don't know if that's like asking too much. And then the rest of the roster, they have like kind of like these like themed ETFs. Like they have like their version of like the Magnificent Seven as well. But everything else is at least in my opinion not as interesting, like at least for my needs. So, and then let's take a look at like what they have on the horizon. I have other videos covering XPay and SPay. So this is kind of like, it looks like that's like they're gonna try to take away like market share from SPY-T, because these are like they're gonna try to target like 20% and 10% payouts, and they actually explicitly mention return of capital on their prospectus. So it'll be interesting to see like how they actually construct the ETFs. But this could be like a potential $53.8 million opportunity, because that's like the asset under management size for SPY-T so far. So I'm gonna assume they'll probably at some point try to do maybe like QPay and RPay, just to kind of like flesh out the rest of the portfolio as well. But I think like for them, like the biggest opportunity is probably like the single stock ETFs, because right now just like like I've also covered this Roundhill prospectus that was dated back in August 23rd. So these are like the 10, I guess like ETFs that they want to try to do something similar to what YieldMax is doing. And that's right now like if you add up all the the corresponding YieldMax products, like Apple and Tesla, and Nvidia, etc. That's about $3.6 billion right there. So I'm not saying that they're gonna get the whole 3.6, but even if they chip away at it like slowly, like even like 10%, 360 million, that's not like a like a chump change or anything. They could do quite well, especially if like sometimes there might be a stumble by like YieldMax, and like they could kind of like start chipping away, and then they could probably also do their own like bundle of like these ETFs as well. So like say like these really like knock it out of the park. Who's to say they're not gonna do like a RMAX or something like that? So that could be something they can go after. And then kind of touch off like the other maybe potential competitors. I'm still waiting for more information on like the themes ETFs. It's been a while. At this point, I don't know if they want to try to do like a weekly schedule on their zero DT products, or maybe like Roundhill might file for their own zero DT Strangle and Iron Condor ETFs. Like, I mean, if that happens, that would be pretty embarrassing, because they think they can then like beat them to the punch. And then like Roundhill still has like momentum going, where themes ETFs, like, we still don't know what's going on with those guys. And then Yield Boost has a similar situation too. I'm still looking for any updated SEC filings and things like that, but I don't see anything yet. Just like delays. And then I don't know if like a leveraged option ETF would be sustainable over the long term. It could be like a good trading vehicle, but that's just my take. I mean, they have to come out first, obviously, too, so we can actually see the performance. And then the big guys, I'm kind of surprised they haven't gotten as much attention, or maybe they haven't like felt the need to really market those products just yet. Like for example, BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street has gotten into the game now. ProShares have their own like cover call ETFs, but they've been met with like I feel like this like lukewarm reception. But maybe like they'll pick up market share like during a bear market, because then everybody else will suffer. But like the big guys have like other ETFs to kind of like manage like the brunt of like any bear move. So that it could be something that people can consider, or maybe like start planning now. So in case like you want to make a trade off between like a higher payout but more like sustainability, maybe like the big guys might be something that people can consider. And then if there's anyone from Roundhill that just happen to be watching, maybe some suggestions could be like, uh, definitely you can probably cement their status as like a weekly payout king, and then like maybe also go after sort of like I would call like normie dividend ETFs, such as like the Schwab one, like the SCHD, and the SDY, and I believe like SCHD has like a split coming too, so that's pretty interesting. But maybe like make like their own version. Like that's why I mentioned like the KNGS earlier. Maybe if they could make a weekly version of that, if possible, because that could be interesting. And then also there used to be other weekly ETFs out there from like SoFi, like the TGIF and WKLY, but unfortunately they've closed down, I guess, like lack of popularity. So definitely, maybe you can repurpose those ticker symbols like down the road. So like right now, like since they have like some positive momentum and community sentiment, you have to take advantage while it lasts, because like there's no guarantee of like a nice bull market continuing forever. So I think if they want to go after market share, they have to kind of do it now, or like soon, to kind of take advantage of the bull market momentum. But of course, this is just like my opinion. Just my take on like the high yield wars this year. It definitely wasn't what I thought. I thought like YieldMax would have done like a better job of uh, you know taking advantage of like the first mover advantage, and like just kind of like keep pounding out like ETS. But I think some stumbles here and there like really hurt them, and they've lost some momentum. But at least they're fighting back. So I don't want to see anyone get beat up too bad. It's good to have like competition to keep everybody sharp. So please stay on top of your investments and your hedges. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. I hope people make some good money out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.